ladies. I want to tell you about a very special event that I'm holding this October. It's my live virtual event called Ignite Your Life, and I really want you to attend. This 3-day virtual experience is designed for smart, successful women just like you so that you can become your authentically beautiful self. You'll learn how to attract a high-quality man and propel you forward on the right path to love. This event is taking place October 14th through the 16th, and it will be the only event of its kind this year. I want you to join us and a whole community of really successful women for this transformative 3-day event where you're going to learn the unique process that will help you attract an amazing man who is completely enchanted by you. I'm also giving you a special gift because you're part of our amazing and supportive podcast community. For the first 50 women who sign up to go to Ignite Your Life from our podcast community, I'm giving you $20 off the ticket price. So to access this discount, use the promo code by typing the word IGNITE at checkout. You'll save your spot for just $77, but you must act quickly because these spots are filling up fast. So to register, go to IYLVIP.com or find the link in our show notes. We look forward to seeing you there.
You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Chris Gillis. Exactly why dating feels like a roller coaster and how to get the F off. Ladies, oh my goodness gracious. The Bachelor franchise is dishing up 2 damn days a week. My brain is a little mushy after spending it in Mexico. How are you doing, Chris? Like this rigorous 2-night-a-week program.
I actually love it, and I'm so happy. Regular. I asked, I manifested it, and believe it or not, I actually had fun, and I was sitting there with a shit-eating grin. It was just so chaotic and silly, and and I was like, man, me and Marni are gonna have lots of fun things to nibble at today. So no, I enjoyed it.
Sure. I also liked some of the we'll talk about it. Okay. So first of all, I want to talk right away. I think this could be a minor point, but I think it's a really good thing to start on because, and I'm glad that you picked up on it because I thought about this as well. Why DMing and Insta stalking and like talking to someone forever and never meeting them is a bad idea because they have changed the rules on this show over the last few years where it was supposed to be that like everyone came in like fresh, like I don't really know you. And now whether it's, Stagecoach or DMs or a Bachelor Nation reunion party, these people have these like fantasies about each other. And I think in some cases, it's going okay, like Brandon and Serene. But in some ways, it's kind of causing a nightmare, which we saw with Andrew and Teddi. So I want to just talk about like, what's the pitfalls of like romanticizing or getting to know someone and thinking they're your person before you actually meet them.
And it's so, it's not as a pitfall, but it's like a delicious pitfall. It's so easy and tempting, and it feels the same dopamine rush that we get when we, do something that makes us feel good is the same thing as the reason these companies are billion-dollar companies. And then imagine we add that's just to entertain ourselves. Now we add our little insecurities and nervousness about dating. Oh, it's damn near impossible to resist that. But yet it's so important we do because we get such a curated image of it, with that person's avatar. And I say avatar because it's not really them. It's about as them as a Nintendo Wii, character that you're making.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then we, and that's just the looks. Half the time, they don't even look like the same person. And then, of course, we're going to go start through there and start reading their what they wrote. And then of course you got to say, well, what are the other people rating? Who's this bitch? Why is she saying this? And now we're cobbling together these stories in our head because that's just how our brains work. We need the things to make sense. And then we meet them and it's sensory overload. And it sets ourselves up so often for disappointment. And that, like you said, that lack of a fresh start and that curiosity, which you're so good about preaching to your clients, is that you got to come in there with an open mind, be curious. And I see it. Maybe that's why these people never ask these questions, because they have already made assumptions, and then they're quote unquote blindsided when they find out that's not what I thought. And first, like, I never said that. Why do you assume now? Like, well, I don't know. I thought you kind of said this here and there. So more reasons not to do it.
To do it. And it's funny. I told you I've been watching F-Boy Island. And so I'm on season 2. No spoilers. But they were talking about like the lengths at which they Insta stalk, right? Like not only looking at their photos, but like who have they commented on, who have they liked, and again, it's just like you said, it's literally an avatar. So we see on this show that Teddi comes and like she has this date with Andrew on the first episode, and they're like, "You're amazing. No, you're amazing. No, you're amazing." And then Teddy's like, "I don't know what it is, but you're not amazing. I'm not interested." And I don't know if that, and she does ask herself a question. I don't think she gives herself even 12 seconds to think about it. I think it's the one that when she drove away in the car, she should be thinking about. Is it me? Like, did I sabotage this? Or was there really like, actually, we're not a match? And the fact that she ran away and avoided the entire thing. If I was going to like analyze her, I'd be like, this woman is emotionally unavailable. She has serious avoidance attachment, and she got too close. It was too much. The whole Rodney thing, she didn't want to deal with like having to like date him and have Andrew deal with it. And she pieced out, literally. She like literally left the building and didn't say anything. And I really think listeners can look at their lives and their patterns and be like, I think I'm available. I think I'm ready to mingle and, make a match with someone. But do I have this way of when it gets too close, I bail? Do I avoid conversations? And so I think that she set herself up to fail. And I was super disappointed that she pieced out. My one question for you is, and I cannot remember for the life of me, but you have a great memory. She was on Clayton's season. And didn't they have a conversation where she talked about like an issue or getting abandoned or something? And we knew that he wasn't into her and he was like, you can trust me. Was that her?
I don't know if that was her, but on that same vein, I wonder, and again, we're just, armchair and psychoanalysis on these things. These are real people, and she's a nurse, and that's good for her. Apparently she's back, and she blocked everything on her IG, by the way. She like hasn't posted a single thing, didn't promote the show at all. So she's not happy and not trying to be that fit fab fun, whatever club is.
Yeah.
She's not going out. So good on her for that. But just a way how we can make up fantasies and stories. You know what, Marni? After seeing this and what you just said, which is, it's avoidant and working out, now her being and she's younger, but being a virgin at this age, it's kind of making some sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I give her props for like, I don't think that that's avoiding by deciding not to engage in Bachelor banter.
Right.
I think we read too that like Tino refused to go on like Nick Viall's podcast. Like these people are really protecting their mental health. And I say yes. So we've talked about like, don't stalk, go into the date, open, curious, let them show you who they are rather than you make a story about who they are.
Absolutely. Okay. It's so tough. And I have friends, gals who, I speak with on dating advice, and it is so hard to get them I'll say you need to meet this person or whatever. And they get angry at me when I won't give them, I'll just send like a photo, even after they've already met it, because I need a photo. I need to see it. They insist on having to, I'll send that photo. No, Chris, you need to send me the whole link. Why? Oh, because I need, and it's so hard for them to be honest that they need to get that, whatever fears. But when I've done that in the past, Oftentimes, yeah, people they get scared. Guys and girls, they get scared and they bounce. They go, no, never mind. I don't want to meet her or him
Listen
anymore.
to this. So we were just at a wedding this summer, my cousin, and it's in Iowa. And she had two friends who were married and they wanted to fix her up with one of their friends. And my cousin was like, cool, send me his social. And this guy's like, doesn't have any. And so they did this cutest thing during the wedding ceremony. It was like they acted out the whole conversation. And the woman was like, well, does he have LinkedIn? And the husband's like, God, no, there's nothing on LinkedIn. There's literally nothing. And my cousin was like, you know what? I'll meet him. Let's do an old-fashioned blind date. They got married. So there you go. Right. And she was like, I'm not going to diss this possibility of his info. I'm going to actually just show up and went from there. So I think that is a very important lesson. Okay, let's move on because we have so much. We have hours and hours of program to discuss. Okay, let's talk about Jill. Jill really paints herself as a victim. One of the big mistakes she makes, she goes to talk to a potential date and he's like, so what's your status? And she's like, I'm painfully single. There's like nothing here for me. There's no one here for me. What does that say? If you're a guy and you're interested in someone or you're trying to get interested in someone and they kind of talk about like how pathetic it is or they can't meet anyone, like, is that a turn on or a turn off?
Totally. Yeah, I get what she was trying to really, her intention was that I'm so single and so ready for you. You don't have to worry. This is, you don't have to deal with this drama of getting me to let go of somebody's hand. But yeah, it backfires. It's a turn off for a couple of reasons. One is just is that negativity, especially a guy like Rodney. He's like a chubby little puppy dog bouncing around, so happy and excited. And her quirky, but that kind of negative vibe. That's definitely a red flag. But most importantly, ladies, it takes away. And I hate to say it because I know I'm a salesman and all that, but your scarcity, it comes across as nobody wants me. And he doesn't know, the backstory that, everybody could like it. But at the end of the day, it just sounds gross and nobody wants to be want something that nobody else wants. We kind of do want to. And I think Marni talks about, the importance of having multiple people and dating and having fun and, and not just being, painfully alone and single. And even though she's
what's funny about Jill is like on some moments I'm like, good for you, Jill. Like, like Romeo like kind of blows her off and is super inappropriate and she doesn't really take him back per se. She just says like that train is gone, right? And I'm like, good for you, But then on the other hand, she totally paints herself as, painfully single and really insecure. And so I'm concerned about her future because she's not coming off as like a confident, strong, resilient woman, and
she comes across as erratic. And like you said, sometimes she'll have these awesome moments. Like, wow, that's great. She's drawing boundaries and nope, she's done. The ship has sailed. Yeah. And then she flips and then she'll be just in other minutes. She'll be super fun and silly and just nerdy and a fun, playful, like, oh, that's awesome. Everyone weird can be fun. And then she'll just be kind of scary and down. Like, how many women is she? Melted into one. And we're simple guys. And don't wear too many masks around us, at least until, we're dating exclusively.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's like she's so close, but why was she attracted to Romeo in the first place anyway?
You don't like a Romeo. He's not your guy, huh?
No, well, I think he's emotionally unavailable and I think he's super confused and he's not direct and he's not direct with Kira. And then he like makes this weird, inappropriate pass at Brittany. Like he's really got some challenges. And so I always say like, what you attract is a reflection of you. And so that erratic behavior in Romeo is a reflection, right? She's erratic. She's kind of all over the place. She's confident. She's not. She's crying, like, So I think I think she's going to get her ass kicked.
Who do you worry about more dating wise? Who do you think that's more difficult, Romeo or Jill?
Romeo or Jill? I mean, I think Romeo has a bad reputation right now. I think it's going to be really hard for him to get out of that. He's kind of being cast as this like dumbass. All the women are like, stay away, stay away. And Jill, I don't know. I think that there are women that come in that are really charismatic and confident, like Victoria F, which we can talk about next. And it's not that one or the other is attractive or not attractive. It's just that aura, right? That energy. And so Jill sort of comes across as like, battered around, like, hey, Rodney, like, I'm here for it. Like, if you like me, I'm here for you. It's that energy of like, I'm here, pick me. Right. Versus like Victoria, who's like, I'm in like, and she's also, Victoria's not super aggressive. She's more like, I'm interested in this person. I could be interested in that person. Let's kind of see what happens. And it just comes off as a lot more attractive. Why do you think she's like flirty and sexy and so attractive?
Absolutely. Yeah. And great segue, because on that same note, you're talking about how they handle adversity different. Look how, that proof is in the pudding. Look how Victoria handled having her name, the guy forgetting her name, versus Lace/Loose did. And she just went with it and laughed. Like, oh, do you think I look like a Caroline or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Could be. So yeah, maybe I could be. And she went with it, right? Whereas, the Lace, or I'm sure Jill would have freaked out too. God dang, yeah, it was just, so that is so sexy again, because men, we're going to make faux pas and we're going to screw up your name. We're going to do things, but yet she just kept it so light and fun. And I'm sure in the beginning, and I can't imagine, I don't know, maybe we'll find out if she's going to be an awesome long-term person, but she's so good. And I'm glad you brought her up. She's so good at being that fun, flirty, sexy, that vibe, and just attracting all the dudes to the point that all the girls are like, you can have my man. I got nothing.
Right. And I think that's really great. Like in that fun and flirty and ruling guys in until they rule themselves out. And Lace goes in there. We keep talking about this on episode 1. And she's like, hey, here's what I'm looking for. Are you a jerk or not? Versus Victoria, who's like, hey, let's go have a date. You forgot my name. That's funny, and just really looking for reasons to like be interested in someone rather than looking for someone to prove that he's a jerk, just like everyone else. Okay, here's what I want to talk about next, because I think this is such a hot topic. Jacob, Tarzan Jacob, right? He's ends up being like the winner chicken dinner. Like he's gonna choose from 3 women. And I think it's Lace, and Kira, and then Hunter is, I believe, the blonde, right? And Lace like gives him a confident kiss. She's like, they kind of have more of a nice conversation. I don't even remember what Hunter, or maybe Hunter was actually with Johnny, but I can't remember. A blonde. Oh yeah. And then Kira, she's like, I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna like put on leaves. I'm gonna. She keeps showing up as like boom room queen, right? Like men will like me if I am sexual and easy. And in the end, like Jacob does not pick that. And we have talked so often about how like that is a limiting belief. Quality guys are not going to always go for the woman who will sleep with them, who's the kinkiest, who's going to sleep with them, who's the most low maintenance. That is so not true. And even Jacob, who seems like he's completely a boy toy, I don't know if he's there for love or not, but like he does not pick Kira. Why? Why do you think he goes with Lace?
God, first of all, that was so awkward. How uncomfortable and bad did you feel for that girl? She shows up, puts on a couple leaves over her naked body. Oh my God, Marni. Ladies, don't do that on the first date or whatever it is. And God, that was bad.
We've seen this before.
Yes, we have.
Before. Because remember a couple seasons ago, Demi, the little blonde.
Thank you. There was about to ask you for her name.
And,
yes, babe. Yep.
Right?
Same
She's
shit.
like, oh, I'll like you want me. She was doing that with Kenny, right? Like, I'll go to the boom room with you, blah, blah, blah. And I just really want ladies to listen. Like, that is not the number one thing that is going to make a guy choose you. Okay, go ahead. I interrupted you because I thought about Demi.
No, all good. I'm glad you did, because I was going to say the same thing. And what's so sad is, I feel like Kira, she's smart. She's a doctor, Marni. She's an MD. I don't know. Can't imagine getting her medical advice from her later on. It's got to do something. But my God, it was just so easy and gross. And ladies, nobody wants to date the girl that's like, hey, because it just shows how easy it's going to be. And then, probably going to give it to other dudes. And it was just so hitting the same, pounding the same key over and over again on a piano. She was guarded because she didn't know what to do a little bit. This is my little theory, that her and Romeo are attractive, very smart nerds. And I'm saying nerds because I'm a nerd. They're very, very brilliant people, very smart people. And yet they're still developing and getting comfortable with their sexuality and dating. And they're trying to, I guess, figure out and just hot wire and say, oh, guys want to have sex. Okay, I'll have sex. And Romeo doesn't know what the hell to do either. He's trying to, work it out, and guys got no game as well. So yipes. That's just, So again, not well-rounded, just such a simple, no depth, no conversations. Do want to point out that our girl Lace, you said she was also kind of ruling stuff out. I don't know why he chose her, but did you notice how I was like, what the hell? She ruled it. She called him out when he said, he went to Hong Kong, and she's like, I'm getting up and leaving. And that made him like her more. So guys, I guess in some way that's what happens when you're a little bit, she did show she's a little bit picky versus showing up with just 3 palm leaves over your genitalia.
Yeah. And I think that's interesting. She was like, oh God, like,
boy,
he might be a little like party boy for me. Like, he can't have a deep conversation. And then she walked away, and whatever it was, I think she didn't sacrifice her selfness to try and have this relationship or to get picked, so to speak. I think she was willing to risk being evicted from the island, right? She was going to go in there, kiss him, make a play, keep it simple. If you don't pick me, that's fine, but I'm not going to throw myself at you. And I think that was the difference.
Real quick, who's got worse press-on eyelashes? Is Katie Thurston or Lace?
Lace.
Yeah, she really does. I'll already give her a makeover, for the love of God.
Oh, and I bless her soul, keeping those things on and all that heat.
Oh, man, they're hanging by a fucking thread.
All of those things. Okay, let's talk about how to keep from going crazy when the guy you like is out on another date. Because we had Genevieve freaking her shit when Justin went out. We had Logan trying to keep it calm, and I think doing it pretty well when Shanae went out. And then we have Justin, who is like traumatized by the fact that Genevieve is going out, which is kind of funny because he just did it to her. It's like, I want to be like, did y'all not read the rules of the game? Like, this is going to happen. Were you surprised that Justin picked Genevieve and she kind of got needy and lost her shit when he showed up with the birthday cake and she was like, you've done nothing for me? And he was like, what? Like, I've done all these things. Were you surprised that Justin was still attracted to Genevieve and still wanted to make it work?
I think it was like a sympathy birthday. He didn't want to look like an asshole thing. I think he's afraid of her, as he should be, that she would cut his wiener off if he did something wrong, and or just exhausting. She's just exhausting on all levels. And I remember, call me out.
But he picked her. Like, he picked her.
I
he
know
picked her
he
over,
did, Marni.
Over Victoria.
For sure. Wait, I think he knew, that after he saw her, Victoria making out with our boy, God, you got to lie, boy, a cool college buck boy, Johnny. He's so awesomely douchey. And I know he can't be this bad in real life. He's got to be insecure and hamming it up. It's like he's doing a character on Saturday Night Live or something like that. He's so good. But yeah, I hope that
we have to talk. Yeah, we have to talk about him. We'll talk about him next. So, so Genevieve, so there's two things I want to say about this. I mean, one of them is you can't, with the right guy, you can't really screw it up. So if he really is her guy and she freaked out, if he's just no matter what, I'm really into you, maybe, and maybe her going out on this date with the bromance, James and Aaron. Oh my God. Yeah. Those two. I don't know. They're not my type.
Really? But you love them though, but you don't love them. You wouldn't let them date your kids, but you love watching them.
Yeah. Well, wait, I got to stay on topic and then we'll go back to them. Okay. So I know so much. So I really think that sometimes that does happen, right? You think you're cool, your person is dating other people and you're like, oh shit, right? When you don't feel like you have the control, then sometimes that person does seem more attractive. But it'll be really interesting because Justin was like, I can't believe after that conversation we had, Genevieve went out on a date, but she just went out on a date because that's what they're there for. And they didn't agree to be exclusive. So I think that's kind of lame. I think Justin needs to chill. I think Casey is trying to hold it together pretty well. He's like, I really like Shanae. Logan. I meant Logan. Logan is trying to not overreact and just keep it cool. And I think that's what you have to do. At the beginning, you should expect that people are dating other people.
Right.
I think that when these ladies are like, I only date one guy, well, that will bite you in the ass. I think at the beginning, you need to keep dating other guys. You need to keep remembering that you have choices until you decide to be exclusive.
You just brought up, an interesting point. I kept thinking in the show, it's why do they all keep muttering the same thing? Because dating is scary, even for them. They all, not all, but many of them keep muttering, mumbling. Oh, by the way, when I choose somebody, I choose somebody all in. I think it's very telling that, I think what they're really saying is, I'm afraid of getting dumped. So I need you to make sure you're not going to dump me because I can't handle being rejected. So I'm going to put this as this platitude of I don't cheat on my husband or something like that. Whereas babe, chill, you're on a fucking island drinking Mai Tais and Margaret's you're supposed to be, you're not doing it right anymore. You're supposed to be dating. And they're all getting around it with their Instagram stalking and making these mental little relationships. And then they come there and I want you. Okay, good. Let's just huddle together as if it's like a Squid Game or something, and they're going to get shot and eliminated if they don't have a husband by night one.
Well, I think, and that's a really interesting thing. So now we'll talk about Aaron and James. Aaron comes on and he's says I just want to meet someone and couple up and be with them and that's going to be my time. And I think that happens to certain people. Maybe it'll happen to Michael, and I don't even remember
name.
The girl that he's with, because they're not really showing them, but they're, they seem happy. Or Brandon, and I don't remember his girlfriend either. Serene. Yeah. And so I think we'll have to see what happens. But sure. In everybody's fiction, you're Prince Charming, you're together forever, and it's happy and it's easy. And that rarely really happens. Even if you look at Jared and Ashley who came back, right, 34, she was like, oh, these kids, so cute. They had a lot going on again. If you look at Astrid and, I can't remember, Kevin, the Canadian Bachelor, they ended up not ending up together on the show, but got back together. They're ultimately going to have to go through a struggle.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Go ahead. The fact, I think your numbers are alluding that so there's a lot greater chance, and just to be comfortable and realize that it's normal that, you're not going to, fall in love and marry the first person on your island, whatever your metaphorical island is. And instead to move around, you don't want to do a Claire Crawley when you're like, oh yeah, there, done. Send everybody home. I found him. He looks good. His Instagram matches what I expect my needs to be, and let's get married, because that doesn't work out.
And that's the whole thing, ladies. Dating is it's dating. It's not, like a date. And so people get so pissed that they have to keep doing it. You only need one, right? And it is a process, and there's a value in the process. So like you have to keep on keeping on. And that's why I think it's good when these people are relatively calm. Look, with Kenny and Mari, was that her name, Mari? Yeah. They end up together last season because they go date other people. I mean, you have to kind of understand what it is that you have before you can make that decision. So I think that the advice is like, date other people, stay calm, be clear on your non-negotiables, expect that everyone else is dating. You don't own them. And if it's not a match, move on.
So to wrap it up, would you say that to add the little bullet points in, when you really like somebody, you see they're dating somebody else, would you say like maybe stay off their social media, maybe don't stalk and ask all their friends? Do you ask them when you see them, hey, how'd your date go? Or do you say, no, shut up? And
no, you don't. And you don't. And I've had clients say like, oh, Jeff asked me out, but I have a date with Tom, like, what do I say? I'm like, that you have plans.
Thank you.
Right. I'd love to see you. I'm busy Friday. I have plans, but I'd love to see you on Tuesday. Like, chill out. Okay. Last thing, because, oh my God, we're like going so long, but we can't help ourselves. I mean, my God, it was 4 hours of television.
Right.
What's their names? James and Aaron.
James and Aaron. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I just have to say right now, for the record, this reality show, mid-20s hairstyle of the shaved head and the floppy bowl cut thing on the top.
The big flop.
Jeremy was like, this is from 1940. I was like, what? He's like, it's a World War II haircut. And by gosh, he looked it up and he is right. And I think it's so unattractive. But I think James is definitely on the juice. His face is all swollen. I'm like, you are not. When are men going to, we've had this conversation on multiple episodes. I wish men could understand that women do not like men that look like the Hulk. We do not like them to have no neck. We do not like them. I mean, God. Anyway, I think they both.
I love you said it, because I thought that and I was like, oh, Chris, you're being jealous, because I am. I want to look like the Hulk too. And Dr. Emily's always yelling at me to stop being an idiot and reminds me, she's like, that's those ginormous muscles, that's like those butterfly eyelashes that are falling off the male's face, and giant Botox lips. That's not sexy. And I think I'm a decent guy at understanding and listening. Marni, every time I hear that, I still forget, and I still like, oh yeah, that's right. Don't do that, Chris. It's so tempting. By the way, I'm pretty sure they're both on the juice. They are so goddamn jacked in tiny little waist, and just massive bros. And then James went and got his whole goddamn leg tattooed. What was that? Because he doesn't want to hide his pecs or something. Why do you get your whole left leg?
I don't understand. I don't think they are there for the romance. I think they're still there for the bromance. I think that I read online, they still live together in San Diego. And James used to be this like I remember him on other seasons of like a good looking guy, like nobody, he was just friend zoned over and over and over again. And I think that he thinks like, if I look this certain way, then suddenly women are going to want me. So I'm really interested to see if James suddenly becomes interesting.
Has he done the work, right? Yeah, absolutely. Has he done the work? Because it couldn't have felt good having to go away with your best bro. And I'm sure he's got tons of feedback. I don't know if he's done the work, Marni, because he's still gelling the shit out of his hair, even though everybody, 99.99 people say, dude, less hair gel, the best you look when you're in the water and you come out a little more natural. I guess what you're trying to say is, bro, guys, you're naturally beautiful. Genetically, stop effing with yourselves and making yourself into something else with chemicals in and outside of your body.
and that goes true for like the women. Like Jeremy was saying, like Ashley I looks so much better, right? Like here it is, she's a mom now, she's like not trying to look like a Kardashian. She looked pretty, but she looked like herself. And I think that what happens is if you like focus so much on these externals, it doesn't solve a problem if you have an internal problem. And so focus on doing the inner work, which is what we do, obviously. And make sure you have a good image and make sure you're presenting an image that's your best self. But you don't need to try and cover up your insecurities with either giant muscles or fake boobs or whatever it is, if your motivation is to get people to love or like you. I so support people who want to do those things because it makes them feel more confident, like 100%, for doing it for themselves, not for external, like an external promise or a result.
I just had a little epiphany, maybe, and a question for you. Do women always say, it's always like when they say dad bods are hot, is it not so much that dad bods are hot, but is it because the opposite of a dad bod, they're generally, the guys are just so young and immature that's what makes dad bods hot?
Maybe. I think, I don't know if dad bods are hot. I don't know if dad bods are hot.
Your man's got a hot bod. You got one in a million. There's very few dudes.
I do. He does look really good at 48. I'm very, rare kitty. All right. But I think James and Aaron are going to strike out because they just look like,
they haven't done the work.
I wasn't vibing them. So we have Ashley I and Jared there. I don't really understand why. To the voice of reason, perhaps, but I did enjoy seeing them. They're super cute. We have Rodney hanging. We have Teddi who left. We have a lot of confusion and a couple of strong, quote unquote, strong couples. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week. But in the meantime, on my days off, I've got to finish F-Boy Island season 2. Dude. And then we're going to have a special episode and just talk about F-Boy Island.
I am so stoked that you're on it, and I'm so curious to learn if you are team Garrett got robbed or Garrett got what he deserved, and I can't wait to get to the bottom of it. In either way, I've got points I can argue on either way. So this is in Babyface Assassin. There's so many good stuff to get into.
There's so much. Okay, so ladies, if you happen to have 18,000 hours extra time from watching The Bachelorette, feel free to use your other extra hours to catch up and watch F-Boy Island. We'll be talking about that. Whatever it is that you do, Chris, I love you. Thank you for being here. And don't forget, ladies, life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.